Hello and welcome to the study of MCQs. In this session we will learn about solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. These are the two phenomena and terms which mostly confuse our students, and they are unable to understand and differentiate between these two terms. So here in this lesson we will learn about these two terminologies and phenomenon and differentiate them in a very easy and simple manner. So let's get started. Here in this picture there are three celestial bodies. One is sun, the other one is earth, and third one is moon, and these are the three celestial bodies which are responsible for causing of eclipses, whether solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. Here in this picture we can see two orbits. One is the orbit of earth, and earth revolves around the sun, and the other orbit is the orbit of moon, that is around the earth. If we talk about revolution, so earth revolves around the sun in 365 days or 1 year. The revolution of earth is a major activity, and earth take 1 year to complete one revolution around the sun. During the revolution of the earth, seasonal variations or seasons are changed on the surface of the earth. On the other hand, if we talk about the rotation, so earth rotates on its own axis. As compared to revolution, rotation is a smaller activity, and earth rotates 360 degrees in 24 hours or 1 day. During this rotation of earth, days and nights are caused on the surface of earth. One important thing about eclipses is that the eclipses will take place only when moon, earth and sun are in a straight line. So when moon and earth will be in a straight line, then only the one of the eclipses will take place. Here in this picture we can see that the sun, moon and earth are in a straight line. So there is a combination of these three celestial bodies, and this combination brings all of these bodies in a straight position or in a straight line. So here we can see that the moon is exactly between the sun and the earth. We can say that the moon is between the earth and the sun. So because of the position of the moon, sun rays are blocked by the moon, and these rays cannot reach at earth. So due to the moon's position, sun rays are blocked by the moon, and resultantly these rays or sunlight cannot reach at the earth. So as a result, some of earth parts may observe complete or partial darkness, and this darkness is called solar eclipse. Here the important thing to note is that solar eclipse occurs when moon comes between the earth and sun, and it blocks the sun rays or sunlight to reach at the earth. So the areas of earth may observe a complete or partial darkness. So this is called the solar eclipse. On the other hand, if we look at this picture, here in this picture there is a straight line between the sun, earth and moon. And here we can see that earth is between the sun and moon, and due to this position of earth, the sun rays or sunlight is blocked by the earth to reach at the moon. So resultantly, the part of moon facing towards earth observe complete or partial darkness, and this phenomenon is called lunar eclipse. Here important thing to note is that lunar eclipse occurs only when earth is between moon and sun, and earth blocks sun rays or sunlight to reach at the moon. So as a result of this position of earth, there is complete or partial darkness on moon, and this phenomenon is called lunar eclipse. Another important question about eclipses is that eclipses take place on which moon, whether a new moon or full moon, and most of our students do not understand it easily. So here we can see that these are the different phases of moon. It starts from new moon, and this is the position of new moon. Then comes the second position. This is the third, that is the first quarter. Then waxing gibbous. Then this is the full moon position. Then it is the waning gibbous, and this is the third quarter, and this is the last stage of the waning crescent. So these are the complete phases of moon. Here important thing to note and learn is that eclipses will take place only when the moon is in new moon phase or in full moon phase. So these are the two phases of the moon which are relevant to the eclipses whether solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. Besides these two phases, there is no other phase which is relevant to lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. So these are the two important phases of moon which are relevant for the happening of eclipses, whether solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. Now we will see what type of eclipse will take place on new moon phase and what type of eclipse will take place on full moon phase. This is very interesting. Here we will learn it in a very simple and interesting way. Here the important thing to note is that these are the only two phases of the moon which are relevant to the eclipses. One is new moon and the other one is full moon. Now we will see which phase of moon is relevant to the solar eclipse and which phase of moon is relevant to the lunar eclipse. As we have previously learned that eclipses takes place only when there is a straight line between moon, sun and earth. Here we notice that the straight line of moon is established only when the moon is either in new moon phase or on full moon phase. So let us see which eclipse will take place on new moon and which eclipse will take place on full moon. Suppose this is the sun and the next is the new moon phase and here is the earth. Here is a straight line established between sun and the new moon and the earth. Here the moon is between the sun and the earth, and we have previously learned that when moon is between the earth and the sun and it causes blockage of sun rays to reach at the earth, so this phenomenon was called solar eclipse. So remember one thing, that solar eclipse will take place only on new moon phase. On the other hand, if there is sun and there is earth and here is moon at the third phase, and this is the position of moon that is away from the sun. Here the earth is between the sun and moon and earth blocks the sun rays to reach at the moon. So we had learned that when earth comes between the moon and sun and causes blockage of sun rays to reach at the moon, so this phenomenon is called lunar eclipse because moon observes complete or partial darkness. So here this combination is established only when the moon is in full moon phase. So this is very important thing to understand, that lunar eclipse will take place only when the moon is away from the sun and earth is between the sun and the moon, and this position is established only when the moon is in full moon position, and this phenomenon is called lunar eclipse. Another two important terms are associated with the solar and lunar eclipse, and these two terms are two very important to understand. Here if you look at this picture, so moon is between the earth and sun, and due to this position of moon, an area is established in very front of moon, and that area observes or experience complete darkness. This is the area where moon completely blocks the sun rays, and the area in front of the moon or between the earth and moon is completely in darkness. So this area is called umbra regions. On the other hand, if you observe here, there is another area outside the umbra regions, and the marked area, you can see that this is the area that is located outside the umbra regions but comparatively light darker area than umbra regions. So this area is called penumbra regions. So here the important thing to understand is that the area of complete darkness or area of total eclipse is called umbra regions, and the area experience partial darkness or partial eclipse is called penumbra regions. So these were the two important terms which are associated with eclipses. I hope you understand and learn these two terms in a very simple and interesting way. Thank you very much for watching. Allah Hafiz.